Hello, I just thought I would give you a new art challenge because I was so blown away with all the excellent work that you did with the last drawing challenge that I set with Bart Simpson. So today I'm going to raise that bar a little bit higher and try and set you something a little bit more challenging with a few different techniques. So for this piece today, you're going to need some colouring and pencils. You're going to need some oil pastels or normal crayons would do the job as well. And something round to draw around, so I'm just going to saucepan lid. And we get started straight away. So here I've got a piece of square paper, and with my saucepan lid, I'm just going to draw a circle around it. So I'm just going to set it down here so I can do it, and then I will show you what it should look like. So if I draw a circle the whole way around my saucepan lid, we should have something like that. You can see that I have also started to sketch this shape onto my circle. Now what this shape is supposed to look like is a face mask. We've all seen people wearing the face masks out in the streets if I've gone to any of the shops, and that's what that's supposed to look like. So hopefully we can get that effect. The face mask is obviously tied on to the person's face using these two straps that go around the back of the head. Now this is not a head, it's a complete circle. It's actually going to be a globe. So showing our world, which at the minute is under attack from the coronavirus, so I'm going to put a face mask on our globe and try and make it a little bit interesting to look at. So the globe isn't just flat like this, it needs to have some land in it. So I'm not going to sit and try and draw perfectly what the globe looks like. I'm just going to do some shapes like this with my pencil. Remember not to draw over your mask. Your mask has to go over the top of it. There we go. So it looks a bit like that. So we've got a little bit of a globe. This is the first of the fun parts. Once you've got that, we can then get some colouring and pencils and get your light green and colour all these different shapes that you've just done. Colour them all in with a light green colour. Try and colour them as best as you can, keeping it neat, keeping it tidy with a light green. Just like that. And your earth shape will start to take shape. Once you've finished with all the light green and all these different parts, you can also get a blue coloured on pencil and start colouring in the other parts blue so that it would look like water. Right, so once you have finished colouring your globe, it should look a bit like that. With your light green and your light blue, remembering to leave the face mask white. Now what we're going to need next is a darker blue and a darker green to add a little bit more detail and texture to the globe. So I'm going to move this a little bit closer and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So if we get the dark green, we can add a little bit of dark green, just the different parts of the land, and it's just to create that effect that's not all even and flat. You might have it even here in the middle, so it looks like you might have a few mountains and a few different kinds of terrain. It gives that three-dimensional feeling and appearance, but it also just brings a little bit more depth to your drawing. And the great thing about this is it does not need to be perfect, because you're not trying to make an exact sketch of the globe. It's just supposed to be something that looks a little bit like our globe. You can see how quick and easy and rough I'm being with this. I'm literally just throwing on a few darker greens just to add a little bit of texture into the globe. A little bit more over here. Try and make it a bit darker. Maybe this little bit here. Right, so Again, it's just added a little bit more texture to these different places on the globe. Now with the darker blue, I'm going to do something similar. Just add a little bit more dark colors into different parts of the water. And again, it is just to create that effect that it's not all the same the whole way around. In the middle, I'm going to keep it a little bit lighter, and as it goes out towards the edges, I'm going to bring in a little bit more of that deeper color. The reason for that is it's just giving me this effect that it's actually round. It's not just a flat planet. It's a nice spherical shape. So we can add that in. Again, it does not need to be perfect. A few little bits of that. It'll make it look three-dimensional, but it will also make it appear as if there are parts of the water that are deeper than others, which we all know is true in real life. You'll have parts of the ocean or parts of the sea that is much deeper than other parts. So you can see there, it's not perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. And that just adds a little bit more texture. Now, one more thing that you could do with that to really bring it up is take a black coloring pencil. Now, with this one, you need to be quite careful with this one. We're just adding a few little bits, little lines like this. And again, it's just adding that texture to the water and showing that it's not just flat. I'm actually going to add a little bit of black under the countries as well. And again, you can see how rough I'm being with that. Nothing too careful about it. And it should look a bit like that. Now, if you have a white coloring pencil, I don't have a white coloring pencil, but if you do, you could actually go over all of the blue with your white coloring pencil, and that'll help blend it all together. You don't have to do that. I haven't got a white coloring pencil, so I'm not going to bother doing that. But if you like, you can do it, and it'll just blend everything in a little bit more. All right, so that's the next stage. So your globe should be looking a little bit three-dimensional, just like that. Okay, the next part is my favorite part. It's where we get to use the oil pastels, and it can get a little bit messy, but it's going to create such a nice effect. Now, what I have got is I've got a purple oil pastel, a darker one, which is actually almost more like blue. Then I've got like a dark royal blue and a black. So 4 oil pastels to start with. I also do have a white oil pastel that I'll need later. So let's just set that there. Now with our globe, what we do is with the purple, the lightest color of purple, we are going to color around the globe. Now I'm going to try and do this while I'm holding it up, which is quite tough. You'll be able to take more time with this and make sure that it stays inside the lines and you keep it nice and neat. Does not need to be perfect because we're going to blend all of these colors anyway, so it does not need to be perfect. Now what I've done around the edge of my page, I don't know if you can really see it, but I've put masking tape around the edge of my page so that I can actually go over the lines with the oil pastels because they can get messy and it should not affect the drawing too much. Right, so got that little bit done. So a little bit more purple, like that. As you can see, quite rough, just going around the outside of our globe, just like that. Then I'll get my next color. Next color is the darker. It's actually more like blue, this color, but it'll be alright. It'll still work. So just coloring that also around our globe. Just like that. I'm going to put a little bit in that corner there. And the real royal blue. Maybe we should have done them two colours the other way around. Doesn't really matter. Colour that in. And you're probably thinking this looks really rubbish at the minute. I'm just scribbling all over the page with my oil pastels. But you'll see in a minute. Hopefully, it should work. A little bit of black up in the corner. Right, once you've got the word just cover it like that with your oil pastels, all you need then is a little piece of scrap paper. And with that piece of scrap paper, if you start rubbing all of these colours, they should start to blend together. Now you might need to lean a little bit harder, and you'll see that these colours will eventually begin to blend together like they are here at the bottom. Now I'm just going to set this down for a minute so I can blend it in and we can see what it's supposed to look like. This is my favourite part because it does not matter how rough or how untidy it looked at the start whenever we started using all of those colours. This piece of scrap paper will help blend all these colours together, and it also stops your fingers from getting too dirty because some people would do it with their fingers, but I don't think it blends as well, and it can get really messy, and you don't want that either. Almost done. So you can see I'm not spending a long time on it. It does not actually take that long. And what you should be getting is the effect of a very uniquely coloured sky. So you're starting to get this kind of colour around our globe. I forgot to put a little bit of black up in that corner. Let me do that now. And I'll blend it in. There we go. Now, to make it stand out that little bit more, I've now got my white, and I'm going to just put the white in around, especially in these parts here around the globe, and through maybe the first two colours. And you'll see it's making it very hazy and space-like. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be looking out into the atmosphere and seeing all these wonderful colours. You can give it another little rub then with your piece of scrap paper just to finish that. A little bit of blending. The beauty of this is if you find a bit that you don't particularly like, oh look, forgot to do this. If you find a bit you don't particularly like, you can just go over it again. The oil pastels, you can keep going over it and you can keep blending it. And you can do whatever you want with it, really. Now don't worry about all these marks around the sides, because whenever I take the masking tape off, that should leave a nice square, so it'll be clean around the edges. That's my plan anyway. Let's hope that it works. We'll see. So just continue putting your colour around until you can blend it, so you can see this light purple fading out into a black at the very edge. Now I'm not too happy with this black, actually. It doesn't look quite right, so I'm going to edit that a little bit. So I'm going to do that kind of shape with my black and get my little bit of scrap paper and blend it in, and hopefully that will help. Yeah, that looks a bit better. So you can see how you can just fix different bits that you don't particularly like. It looks like it's blended a little bit better now, and I'm going to do the same over in this corner actually, because I do not like the way I've done that black. There we go. Now you should probably do this on a table, because I'm holding it up and I'm now covered in oil pastels, but that's okay. Make sure you do it on your kitchen table or something, and it should be looking like that, and we'll have a look then to see what we do once we get to that stage. Alright, now once we've got to this stage and we've got lots of colour around our globe, we're going to add a little bit more detail to the actual globe itself, something to tell a little bit of a story of what's actually happening here in the world at the minute. So what I'm going to do, as we are on lockdown, I'm going to sketch Again, just very roughly. Padlock. Locking the word down. So just a little square of kinds with like a semicircle on top of it. And we are locked down. A little bit of a circle with a line underneath. Be the hole where the key goes in. And we'll just add a little bit more detail to this face mask. So over that line across, line down the side, and a line across the bottom. Right, and next what we can do is take a pink colour pencil and we'll colour this middle part of the face mask in pink. So we just shade it all in with the pink colour, keep it nice and even, and we will add some more texture into it later. Now another tip whenever you're doing this, if you're doing it flat down on a piece of, or on a table, if you have a piece of kitchen cloth, keep it under your hand, rest your hand on it as you're doing it, you'll not move the colours around the page, because I can't really see it, but these blues and purples are actually coming onto my mask now because it's on the back of my hand. It's rubbing. So piece of kitchen roll under your hand will stop that from happening. So just as I said, shade the mask in pink, and then we will start to add more texture to it. Right, so once you've got it coloured in pink, you can use either a red or a darker shade of pink just to add a little bit of texture into this by adding some more colour to your mask, like this, especially around the edges, because it then makes it look like the mask is actually curving around the earth to protect it from any harmful viruses. And I want to do it something like that here in the middle, just like almost like 3 lines, just to make it look a bit like a crease on the mask. If you ever look at those face masks, they usually do crease in the middle, roughly where the mouth would be. Now with colouring pencils, if you can keep the pencil strokes as much as you can going in the same direction, it will make the pencil strokes look so much neater and smoother. And again, if you've got a white colouring pencil, once you've finished putting your darker pink or red onto the mask, you take your white colouring pencil and draw over the top of it, just colour all over the top of the colours that you've laid down with your white colouring pencil. It will actually smooth everything out, and it will make all of these colours blend together that little bit better. So I don't have a white colouring pencil, so I am just going to continue doing it this way. So you should see now that the mask is around the face of the earth, and because I put these darker colours on, it does actually look a little bit like the mask has creased a bit where the mouth would be if this was a human face. So to give that a go, as I said, you can go over it with a white colouring pencil at the end. If you don't want to, or if you don't have a white colouring pencil, I don't have a white colouring pencil, you can just leave it as it is. Right, the next part now is the really challenging part. It'll either make it look great or it'll make it look rubbish, but you know what, it's a piece of art, it's a piece of fun. Let's have a go at it and see how it goes. So I've now taken a black colouring pencil. With my black colouring pencil, I'm going to go around the shapes to lay a darker line on the padlock, and around the face mask. I'll actually do the same around the globe in a little minute, but I'm going to try and do something a little bit more challenging. Because we're on lockdown, it's as if somebody has just chained up the world and we've shut everything down. So I'm going to try and draw a chain around the world. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we'll give it a go. So we can start with like an oval shape. There we go. So an oval here. Let's go with another oval. I've never drawn chains before, so I honestly don't know what this will turn out like. That was just an idea I had. Thought it might be fun to try. There we go, a couple of ovals. Watch the page in. You know what? I think actually it looks quite nice. So we'll do it again on the other side. Another oval. And again. Another one. We'll probably fit one more in. There we go. Now that we've got it in, we can use the black coloring pencil to really start to add a bit more color and texture to that. So just making it a little bit thicker and a little bit darker with your black coloring pencil. Once you've done that, we could also make the line around the globe a lot darker as well by just adding that black the whole way along the outside. It would probably actually be easier to get your saucepan lid or your circular object that you used at the start and draw around that again. Now I'm going to go and fill the rest of this in black, the chain, and just go around the outlines of everything in black just to make it a little bit more pronounced, and then we'll look to see how we can finish this off and make it look something nice. Okay, so we're nearly there. We've got our globe, we've got our chain, we've got our padlock. So the next thing we need to do is color that padlock in. So I just got a bit of brown coloring pencil. I'm going to use that just to shade in the padlock. Just a nice light brown, because we'll add a little bit of texture to this in a minute. So the light brown, add it in just like that. It's around the square part, and then when you're doing the semicircle at the top of the padlock, as you're doing it, deliberately just leave a couple of little bits white, because that'll make it look more three-dimensional whenever we have it all finished off. Right, so once you've got that down, we can then use either a darker brown or I've got the black coloring pencil, and I'm going to add a little bit more texture to it by just going around the edges with this black. As you can see, nothing too special, just around like so. Let's just darken up the circle of that and this part. There we go. And we'll color the middle part of the padlock in red to suit the masking behind. And we'll just take a normal drawing pencil, and I'm going to just add a little bit of detail to the legs of the mask, things like that, so it looks like it's the stitches that hold it all together. Now with this, you could really do anything. I did the padlock and the chain. You could have any kind of idea that you like on your mask. You might want to put the caramel crest, for example, in the middle of the mask. I think that would look really nice, the caramel crest, because although the words on lockdown, our caramel family have kept going strong, which I think is just brilliant. I'm actually going to color the arms of the mask in black, just with my coloring pencil, just like that. Yeah, it looks good. Last part of our little art project today requires either a piece of white paint, or I've just got a Tipex pen, a correction pen. I don't know how well this works, it's been lying for a while. Right, so what I'm going to try and do if it'll work. I'm going to try and draw a little bit of the, let's see if it works, come on. There we go. A little bit of a semicircular moon up in the corner. There we are, look, it's coming up now. So a bit of a crescent moon up there in the corner. And what we could also do, is while we've got it, we could actually just touch the page a few times. I could have a few stars out among the atmosphere. And there we go, a lovely picture to remind us of the crisis that's going on in the world that will last forever.